Hey, glad you're here, especially if this is your first time wandering into our weird little world. Whether you're procrastinating work, can't sleep, or you just like to vibe with creepy stuff. Welcome. We're diving into 10 real places you'll probably want to avoid once the sun sets. These aren't ghost stories from some campy movie. These are actual locations where things seem to change at night. A few of them I wouldn't even drive past after dinner. Alright, let's start exploring the places people only talk about in whispers. Deep at the base of Mount Fuji in Japan lies Aayoki Gajara, what many call the Sea of Trees. On a map, it's just a dense forest, but to locals and hikers who've wandered too far, it's something else entirely. Known globally as Japan's suicide forest, this place has a severely heavy aura, and yes, people still enter it. The dense foliage absorbs sound, no wind, no animals, no echoes. You stand in the middle of it, and you feel erased. Even GPS has trouble here. Over the years, officials have put up signs urging visitors to reconsider and think of their loved ones. Some paths are marked with tape by those terrified of not finding a way back. Nightfall? That's when even the most rational people report whispers, shifting shadows, and the unmistakable sense they're being followed. Whether it's the spirits of those who never left, or just an oppressive natural stillness. This is not just a forest. It's a quiet, haunted place where the air itself changes after dark. Ever hear of a town being erased on purpose? Helltown, Ohio isn't just a creepy name. It's the remains of a real place in Summit County. In the 1970s, the government began buying up homes and evicting residents under the guise of creating a national park. But it never happened. Houses were boarded up and left to rot. Soon, stories started to swirl. Reports of mutant creatures, satanic rituals, a bus full of ghost kids. It sounds ridiculous, until you visit. People who have explored Helltown after sunset report headlights that appear and vanish, doors slamming in abandoned buildings, and an overwhelming sense of dread. Locals advise against going in at night, not just for safety, but because things don't behave normally after dark. Whether it's leftover collective trauma or something more malevolent, Helltown has remained shrouded in mystery for over 40 years. Bowman Church in West Virginia is mostly forgotten. It's not even really a church anymore, just the ruins of one, deep off a narrow trail near the Monongahela National Forest. Built sometime in the late 1800s, the church was said to be cursed after a string of deaths and disappearances tied to its congregation. Its remote location and decaying frame make it an obvious backdrop for a horror movie. But here's the thing. Cell reception vanishes before you get near it. People say their compasses stop functioning, and time gets, weird. Like they'll go in and hours pass without realising it. Photos taken at sunset often come out distorted, with figures standing where no one was. I wouldn't call it haunted in a classic sense. It's more like the entire hillside it rests on doesn't want you there. After dark, people have reported hearing chanting, footsteps in the leaves, and even bells, though the bell tower collapsed decades ago. Clinton Road in New Jersey is only 10 miles long, but somehow manages to cram in decades of eerie stories. It's most famous for the Ghost Boy Bridge. Throw a coin into the water at night, and supposedly, a ghost child will toss it back. Charming, right? Except things escalate. There are rumours of occult gatherings deep in the woods, phantom trucks that tailgate and vanish, and cross-shaped burnt patches in the trees. The road is surrounded by forest on both sides, with absolutely no lights for miles. Even police avoid patrolling it at night. One local law enforcement officer once admitted, off the record, that more than one missing person case started or ended on Clinton Road. Whether it's urban legend mixed with fact or something darker, the place has energy, and not the fun kind. Stull Cemetery in Kansas is the kind of place that sounds like it belongs in a supernatural TV show, except it doesn't need plot twists. it's got plenty of its own. The site's most infamous claim? It's one of the 7 gateways to hell. An old trope, sure, but still has some history to back it up. The ruined church near the cemetery has no roof, yet rain reportedly never falls inside. During the 70s, strange ceremonies were witnessed there. Stones would shift overnight. The Pope allegedly requested his plane not fly over Kansas airspace at one time, just to avoid Stull. That could be coincidence, or not. Every Halloween, people sneak into the cemetery expecting something, and most leave terrified. Locals don't even say the name after dark. It's become a modern legend, but one soaked in enough eyewitness accounts, physical anomalies, and death records to earn its chilling reputation. P.S. Centriia, Pennsylvania. Population technically 5. Once a thriving mining town, it now exists above a fire that's been burning beneath the ground since 1962. The blaze started from a landfill burn that hit a coal seam, and it's never stopped. It could keep going for 2 more centuries. The ground is unstable, cracks ooze steam, and streets have been swallowed whole. It's a true ghost town, in every sense. But people still visit, drawn to the post-apocalyptic ruins. And that's where the strange stuff starts. Electronics flicker, GPS directions go haywire, cell phone batteries drain in minutes. Some hikers have reported panic attacks in the silence, or weird dreams after brief visits. At night, the steam rising through the cracks glows in the moonlight. It's beautiful, eerie, and maybe cursed. They call it a cautionary tale. But people still go. Maybe it's curiosity. Maybe it's something the fire pulled in. In the hills outside Oviedo, Florida, there's a phenomenon locals call the disappearing hills. It's not on most maps, and it's not an optical illusion either. Hikers report seeing hills, then walking toward them, only to find flat grassland when they arrive. GPS data confirms elevation, but when explorers get close, it changes. There are no structures or caves, just a vanishing feature in nature. Conspiracy theorists blame military cloaking tech. Others think it's a natural mirage amplified by electric interference. Either way, residents avoid the area at night after several search and rescue missions went sideways. One team lost radio contact for over 48 hours, only to reappear with no memory of what happened. No injuries, but the entire crew resigned within months. Stay long enough in Oviedo's missing hills, and you might lose something too, like time or a piece of yourself. If you ever find yourself in Xochimilco, Mexico, the canals to be exact, keep an eye out for Isla de las Muñecas. Translation: Island of the Dolls. It's decorated top to bottom, branch to branch, with hundreds of decaying dolls. Some are missing eyes, others laugh when the wind hits just right. The man who lived there placed each one in tribute to a girl he claimed drowned nearby. After his death, visitors continued to add to the collection, saying they felt compelled. Many report the heads turning slightly or eyes closing. Cameras don't always work there, and boats run slower approaching the island. At night, it's a full-on sensory experience. Locals refuse to go near it once the sun drops. Whether haunted or just very, very wrong, the dolls are watching, and they don't sleep. Green Cloth Quarry in Bradford. UK is popular with hikers by day. Beautiful cliffs, blue water, all very Instagrammable. But after nightfall, it's a different story. The site was a dumping ground for factory waste back in the 19th century. Some say whatever's buried there wakes up at night. Hikers have reported hearing mechanical whirring sounds under the earth. Dogs refuse to enter at dusk. People also talk about the Screamer, an entity that lets out a high-pitched sound just before fog rushes in. There's never been a solid photo, but local emergency services have had to evacuate night visitors due to hallucinations, nausea, and a missing time. No serious injuries yet, but the area is now fenced and unofficially patrolled. That hasn't stopped thrill seekers. But stepping near the quarry after nightfall, you might bring more than a headache home. Black Mountain Pass in Wales has a cinematic beauty to it. Twisting roads through lush highlands, sheep dotting the slopes. But ask any biker, and they'll tell you it feels off after dark. Stretching between two rural towns, the mountain road is laced with fatal accidents. Drivers report seeing figures in the road that vanish. Some describe strange flashing lights in the sky above the valley, always just out of range of mobile signals. In the early 2000s, a local man vanished on the pass. His car was found with the keys still inside, headlights on, but no trace of him ever surfaced. Traditional folklore says the mountain is a liminal place, used by spirits moving between worlds. Whether that's true, who knows? But Black Mountain Pass can turn a simple drive home into a trip you don't come back from. Literally. Okay, so if you ever see one of these places pop up on your travel list, maybe just check what time the sun sets, or don't go. Anyway, if this kind of eerie, real-world weirdness is your thing, make sure you're subscribed. I drop these every weeknight. If you're new here, I'm genuinely glad you found this corner of the internet. Stay safe out there, physically and mentally. That was your dose of the unknown. See you in the next file.